This video is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The analysis reflects legal commentary based on publicly available information at the time of the publication. A system under the spotlight. This is no longer just another corruption case. It's a moment where credibility of policing in South Africa is being tested in an open court. Yesterday, 25 March 2026, the sitting National Police Commissioner, Fanny Masemula, was formally served with court summons and is expected to appear before the Pretoria Magistrate Court on 21 April 2026. At the same time, within the very same broader investigation, multiple accused, including businessman Vusimuzi Matlala and several police officers, were arrested, processed, and granted bail ranging from 40,000 and 80,000. These contrasts immediately raised the central question: why were some arrested while the man on top was only summoned? The tender at the center of the case. At the center of a legal storm is a 360 million Medicare tender, a contract awarded to the company linked to Vusimuzi Matlala with approximately 50 million rand paid out before the deal was eventually cancelled. The allegation is that there may have been a violation of the Public Finance Management Act, pointing to the procurement process that could have been manipulated. What makes this case particularly significant is that it is not simple isolated act, is a network case involving multiple accused across business and police structures, with immediate changes how the law responds to how prosecutors structure their strategy. Arrest versus summon. How the law decides. In South African law, arrest is not automatical. The system is guided by principle that state must use the least intrusive method necessary to bring the accused before court. This means the decision between arrest and summon are based on specific legal risk. The court considers whether the accused might flee, whether they might interfere with the witness or evidence, or whether there is a need to immediately control them. If those risks are real and demonstrable, arrest flows. If those risks can be managed, a summon is sufficient. Why other accused were arrested? For the group linked to Vusimatlala, the state appeared to have concluded that immediate control was necessary. These accused are part of multi-person networks, which creates a real risk of collusion, coordinated vision, and interference within internal systems. Some of them are not merely linked to decisions, but are allegedly connected to the execution of the scheme itself. That makes them operational exposed, directly tied to how the alleged crime was carried out, and therefore more likely to be arrested early and placed under bail condition to protect the integrity of the investigation. Why Fanny Maselula was not arrested? The situation is different when it comes to Fanny Maselula. Despite the fact that he holds the highest position in the police, at first glance, his authority could suggest a greater ability to interfere with the investigation. However, the law draws a crucial distinction between the ability to interfere and the likelihood to interfere. The state must show a real evidence-based risk, not a theoretical possibility. At this stage, several factors appear to have influenced the decision to proceed with the summons instead of the arrest. Masemola's position makes him highly visible and easily traceable, meaning the risk of flight is extremely low. He has also indicated that he will cooperate with the legal process, which further reduce the need for immediate detention. The nature of the case itself also matters. This is a paper-driven investigation built on financial record, contract, and documented transaction. The evidence that is typically secured early and the difficult to manipulate after the fact. In addition, Arresting a sitting national commissioner carries a serious legal and political implications. The state must ensure that such moves is beyond challenge, and as any procedural misstep could weaken and collapse the case. A summon allows the prosecution to proceed carefully, maintaining control without taking unnecessary legal risk. The real difference, the role in alleged crime. The most important distinction lies in the role of the accused. The case is not separating individuals based on rank, but based on their alleged involvement. The arrest accused are believed to be linked to the execution of the tender process, meaning their actions are directly tied to how the alleged crime unfolded. Masomula's alleged involvement appeared to fall within the realm of decision-making or oversight. In law, execution creates immediate exposure, while oversight requires a deeper level of proof to establish criminal responsibility. Prosecution strategy. What emerges is a clear prosecution strategy. The state appears to be securing the operational layer of the case first, establishing evidence and managing the risk of interference among those directly involved, and they're moving upwards toward the leadership accountability. The summons issued to Masemula is not an indication that the case against him is weak. Instead, it reflects a controlled and strategic approach where the prosecution is built its case step by step. Justice or strategy? So, when the public asks why the commission was not arrested, the answer lies in the structure of the law itself. Arrest is not about status or public pressure, it's about necessity. At this stage, the state is effectively saying that it does not need to use force to bring him before court because he is already within the reach of the legal process. This case is no longer just about controversial tender, it's about how accountability is persuaded when the power is involved, and how careful the law must move when the stakes are at high. That concludes our analysis. Thank you for watching the sim. If you found this breakdown useful, consider subscribing for clear, factual legal analysis. Until next time, stay informed.